Did you see the story? I think it's out of New Jersey that 2 women in all women's prisons have gotten pregnant.
By a trans man.
Yeah. They are allowing men who identify as women to be, which is one of the craziest things out there, to be housed in a women's prison. And now multiple women have gotten pregnant by men who identify as women but are still biologically, as you can imagine, men. And I got to say, 1, it's crazy. 2, if you were otherwise locked up in a male prison and you could be like, hey, you know what? I identify as a woman, and the world is so broken that they would say, okay, we're going to put you in a women's prison. The guys are playing a rigged game, right? Suddenly you're fishing in a stocked pond when otherwise you're going to be stuck with a bunch of dudes trying to beat the crap out of you in a male prison.
I used to use this. Slopes are slippery, my friends. Anytime someone says it's a slippery slope fallacy, slippery slope is not a fallacy. It's a reality. Years ago, I was making the argument on my show, Clay, about exactly this. I said, just give it time. They're going to have biological males in women's prison. Just give it time. They're going to have biological males in women's sports. And now here we are. And if you say, hold on, it feels like we didn't even have a conversation about this, they shout you down as a bigot. This is only possible, though. The real wokeism is only possible because of their control of social media. That's what I think is important for people to know. And if you brought this up on COVID lockdowns, before you would be suppressed for the election issue. People always think of, what happened with Hunter Biden laptop, and then election fraud allegations after the 2020 election. The initial censorship wave that was out in the open was about COVID. All of a sudden, you weren't allowed. It was a violation of terms of service in June and July and August of 2020 to say, hey, I don't think this mask mandate thing works, or hey, I don't think we should lock down certain businesses and keep others open. I mean, the whole notion of essential worker was so arbitrary. You were an essential worker if you were a podcaster in the state of California. I love what we do too, Clay, right? But I mean, we're not putting electric paddles on someone's chest to get their heart beating again. It's crazy what was able to happen, and it was because they shut down some ideas, they elevated others. And this is how you get to this moment of honestly indefensible stupidity from the left. I think that pushes a lot of their panic. They have indefensibly stupid positions that they've convinced themselves of, Clay, and they're kind of boxed into a corner now because they've had so much reinforcement on social media without people being able to say, you're a moron, right?